And good morning to you. It's Baseball for Breakfast edition here on STL Sports Central. All of our content is brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. This is Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar. And for those of you waking up early with us, logging on early with us before we...
What are we going to talk about?
I'd love to know how many of you were in the chat last night for the post-game show.
Oh, it was ugly.
1,500 of you, I know, have watched that, and curious as to what those thoughts are from last night as you kind of wake up this morning and you revisit the Cardinal loss yesterday. That's kind of where I am and what I'm thinking about right now. Joe Roderick, Matt Rocchio here with you. They lose last night to the Rockies. The loss itself, whatever. I it is what it is. You're going to lose baseball games, but it was another case of Eric Fedde going out there and not giving you a chance. I think Chip and Mark at the end of the broadcast kind of even pointed out and said, yeah, you know what? After those 6 runs they gave up in the first 2 1/3 inning, Cardinals went on to outscore them 4-2 the rest of the game. It's kind of one of those where I think, the broadcasters are being as
kind as they can be,
as team friendly as they can be, as politically correct as they can be. But they're also saying, hey, look, we would have won the game if we didn't trout this guy out yet again.
And Ali Marmol put it pretty succinctly. Obviously, we know it wasn't good enough. That when the manager says that, that's all you need to hear. But I should say, because if Brendan Schaefer was doing this show, he would be pointing this out, and he did a fantastic job on the Randy Carricker show yesterday. And if he was here today, it would also be an incredible show because I have a feeling it'll be a very similar show in people's anger. But he pointed out that you had to sweep the Rockies. So for him, it was not just say, hey, sometimes you lose baseball games. For Brendan Schaefer and from some of the population out there,
I've said it. No,
not sweeping the Rockies is a referendum. Yeah, that things have to change now. And
Rockies, White Sox, and Pirates right now are must-sweep series. When you play those teams, if you are a team that wants to be in the postseason, I'm not talking just the Cardinals. I'm talking all of Major League Baseball. If you want to compete, if you want to play in October and you see those 3 teams on your schedule, that is must sweep. Yeah. Absolutely must sweep. Anything less than a sweep is a disappointing series when you have those 3 teams on your schedule.
And here's my thing is they can solve this by finally pulling the plug on Fedde, and
they have to.
Apparently Apparently, they might be getting another. He might be getting one more.
That is irresponsible.
Of course, Joe.
I'm trying to think of a nicer word.
That would be the third irresponsible start. Though the last 2 starts have been irresponsible. Last night was irresponsible.
Yeah,
Brendan Schaefer called it shameful. Another fantastic word for it. That's though you're not wrong.
Eric Fedde called himself awful. He said it himself. I'm awful.
I don't know why it wouldn't be part of the plan, other than I hate giving them the benefit of the doubt, but everyone's injured. Everyone not in the organization right now. Everyone not in the major organization is injured. Not like starting pitchers. All the young starting pitchers you'd really want to see and care about seeing beyond the.
You're better off with a bullpen game at this point.
That's true. You're not wrong. Yeah. And here's the thing. That's also another thing we should be talking about, because I put it in the headline because I know no one wants to talk about good things, but legitimately 7 strikeouts, 3 2/3, 50 pitches from Kyle Leahy. That was a fantastic relief appearance from Kyle Leahy. I know it's a terrible lineup. Because a lot of people just wanted to see Michael McGreevy pick up some strikeouts, and so are we impressed by the 7 because it's against the Rockies, or are we impressed by the 7 because it's kind of an outsized number for Leahy in that kind of work? So I'm with you, because I think what you're intimating is, why not give Kyle Leahy a pitch limited start?
I don't even. It doesn't even I don't have. A name in mind. I'm looking right now at it. So Palante is going today, 2:10 start time. in Colorado. So post game around 5, Brendan Schaefer and I will be on that. You have Gray, Michaelis, Libator, McGreevy. Right now, according to ESPN, you have Fedde listed as the starter on Monday. That can't happen.
What is that game? Is that game 3 against the Padres?
No. That's Monday. Monday is Monday is against Miami.
That's Miami. Sorry, that's through the Padres series. My bad. Oh God, it's Wednesday.
Never once have I ever led or supported any kind of like boycott the stadium type thing.
Oh, here we go. Joe, but, you really get into it when you're on these shows with me.
I cannot
trade a new bar, boycotting the stadium.
I'm not saying that though. I'm saying I'm against that. I'm against the whole, because I love going to baseball games so much. I do. I'm going third. I'm taking Hudson on Thursday. We're going on Saturday. He loves the Padres. We're going to at least 2 of them. I still haven't decided if I'm getting tickets to Friday or Sunday yet.
Big Mike Schilt fan.
What?
Big Mike Schilt guy.
He's a big FTJ guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's got his Fernando City Connect jersey ready to go. I would not be upset with fans if there were less than 15,000 in the stadium on Monday, on a Monday game. Monday night game against the Marlins in July, when it's supposed to be, hot as balls anyway.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that I have no issue with that is part of, Randy mentioned it yesterday that according to Katie Wu on Matrix Midwest on The Fight, the ownership might be the part that's holding back trading the relievers, and because they think that they can compete for a third wild card.
And I'm fine with that. That's fine.
No, that's a broken. No,
I'm fine. That is
a broken chain of logic.
No, go for the third wild card. I'd love that. If they got into the third wild card, I'm there for it.
It's a waste of my time.
I'm there for it.
It's a waste of my time. And it's a waste of your time.
No, absolutely no. Playoff baseball. Playoff baseball is playoff baseball. Get in
for half of a week.
Get in.
That's what you.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's half a week.
You go up against 3 best pitchers, and you have Gray, you have Libator, and you have McGreevy.
You lose.
I'll take my chances with it in a 3-game series. You never know. You never know what'll happen when you get into that.
Instead of optimizing the return for Phil Maton, who, based on the numbers and the contract, could get you one of the best reliever hauls of this deadline. Ryan Helsley, who would get you arguably the best. Hold on a second.
Helsley,
who would get you the best reliever haul of this deadline, and Steven Matz, who, based on this season pitching well, his usefulness as both a reliever and a starter, is going to get you a pretty useful piece as well. So my simple point is that it is a mistake, and it is a short-sighted mistake by the Cardinals if in fact the ownership group thinks that they should hold on to Helsley, Maton, and Matz because they think those 3 guys are, because they correctly think those guys are crucial to them competing, and therefore they should prioritize the slight slim chance of competing over moving 3 obvious trade pieces at the deadline. That is a organizational mistake. And if you want to prioritize just making the tournament over making smart moves at the deadline, you can do that, but you are going to be mired in the middle ground forever with that kind of thought process. You are going to be a wild card team who just hopes to win the division, and that's where you're going to be stuck. And that's where you've been stuck for the majority of the last 10 years. And guess what? No one is happy about the last decade of Cardinals baseball. And so why keep doing the same thing, especially when you're trying to change the entire mindset of this organization?
I am completely on board with trading Helsley. At first, I wasn't. At first, I was against it. As the season has gone on,
why were you against it at first?
At first, I was against it because this is. I mean, if we were talking about this back in May about trading
let's
Helsley,
go back in January.
No, I think you needed him because back in January, I thought you needed to have him be your closer the same way he was your closer in 24. You needed him to perform to that level to be competitive and to make a playoff spot. This year, we have seen a less reliable Ryan Helsley, a less effective Ryan Helsley, who still has really good stuff, and it's still going to be really attractive to another team if he goes there and he's their 8th inning guy or their closer if they need it. But I think you see that you can compete without Ryan Helsley this year. So trade while the value's high, especially if you're not going to put a qualifying offer on him.
Okay, let me go back to the mindset in January really quick. Why were you, because apparently, as the Cardinals are now trying to tell us, is that this entire year has been runway, and this playoff run was a boon that happened in May. And so my point is, why, when they're trying to trade Arenado and things like that in the offseason, why would you want the Cardinals to plan for a playoff run when the Cardinals' rhetoric is that they weren't even planning for a playoff run?
Because I'm looking at it. I think if you the organization, Mo, DeWitt's, that they probably were looking at that and saying, "No, we probably weren't going to make the playoffs." When everybody in that clubhouse, everybody on that field looked at it and said, "So I was looking
there
at it
should
more,
be though." Hold on a second.
Yeah, but that's the way I'm looking at it though. I'm looking at it more from, you got 26 guys in here that all think they could compete for a playoff spot, which
that's a good
they
thing.
were doing.
That's a good thing.
And
you want the players.
Yeah, so I wanted the best players on the field.
But you got to be thinking about this from from Moselak's mindset, and he's got to be thinking about it. Even though it's his last year, he's got to be thinking about it in 2, 5, and 10 year windows. And so, like, from Moselak's perspective, I'm still just trying to like nail down what exactly the thought process was at the start of the season. And I think, and the fact that you even have one where it's like, no, I think they shouldn't even moved him in the offseason. No, it continues to run the crossed mixed wires kind of thing that continues to be one of my biggest issues with this season.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it from I will never look at a Cardinal team, and never have looked at a Cardinal team to where you're building to next year. Every year is always, this team should be able to compete this year. But
isn't there some hubris and that's why we have had mistakes over the last decades in the Cardinal mindset of always needing.
You had guys that didn't play out the way you thought they have, and you still have that right now with kind of that revolving door in the outfield that changes every.
Sometimes you got to hit the reset though. The Blues showed that.
You
can't. I'm not saying ever rebuild, but like you just had 2 top 10 picks. You are a team that needs to reset.
I don't think you do. I don't think there need to be a reset. I think you
with this
gave
pitching,
the guy the runway. This pitching though, you could reset tomorrow. You can reset tomorrow and just say, yeah, Fedde's not starting Monday. We changed our mind. Fedde's not starting Monday. We're going a different direction with that.
Liberatore's going the other way over the majority of his last dozen starts,
and they're giving him rest now. We're not going to see him pitch, I believe, until I think it's Saturday is going to be his next start.
So would you have
the last time that Matthew Liberatore started a game was when? The last start was July 11th. So he's going to go from July 11th to July 26th. So you're giving him 15 days off. Okay, I'll happily look at what that looks like after a rest when he goes into pushing his limits even further.
That's fair. So let's extrapolate this idea of them winning a playoff series. He's one of the 3 pitchers in that playoff series, right?
Mm-hmm.
How confident are you in Matthew Liberatore when he's pitching innings 145 through 152 when they already have to sit him down, and when not throughout just July, when probably a start in August and probably a start in September, they're having to skip them because he is 20, 40, and 60 innings over his career high. And you feel great? You feel great about him in the playoffs when he's pitching his career high innings?
If Matthew Liberatore goes out there on Saturday and struggles in August, you're not making the playoffs. So therefore, I mean,
and you're willing to risk that. You're willing to keep healthy.
This is where I'm throwing out there too, which Mason Windu chimes in. If Libby doesn't look good in the next start, do you shut him down for the season? Absolutely not. And the reason for that is I just said if Liberatore struggles, you're not making the postseason. But you can't just go, all right, hey, we found your limit. It's how many innings is he at right now? If you want to look it up real quick,
just
like
101 or
okay,
100.1.
So hey, 100 innings, that's your limit. No,
100.1. Let's
okay.
go.
So instead, you go and you say, hey, you know what? If he's going to struggle, he's going to struggle through 140 innings this year, 160 innings this year. And that's going to be a struggle because next year he's going to come back even stronger, ready to pitch 160, 180 innings next year.
We got to get our math right.
Just
here.
Because he's struggling at 100 innings You don't shut him down. You want him to build up to be able to throw that, because then what? How do you get him? How do you if you shut him down if he struggles at 100 innings? How do you get him to that 140, 160, 180 platform?
Joe, I don't disagree with you. My point, I 100% just agree with you. But my point is that this reality was always going to be the case with the Cardinals. They know, based on their internal numbers, how they work up starting pitchers, that Matthew Liberatore was going to be at the end of his limit at the end of the season. And so my point is again, if we're doing this all in the context of, should they be treating this season like they can make the playoffs? My point is that a Sonny Gray, who has historically, in the majority of his times in the playoffs and in the later half of seasons, been a worse pitcher than he is in the first half, with a Matthew Liberatore who will be pitching at the very end of his physical limits as a pitcher with inning count, and then the third starter being either Michael McGreevy or Andre Palante, who also is going to be pitching at his complete stretched career high physical limit, because his limit is like 120, and he's going to pass that up in August and September. So he would be there too if he's your third starter. My point is that just all of these profiles of these starting pitchers do not profile to a team that can realistically win even one series of playoff baseball. And that's why I'm not saying you shouldn't take the risk. I'm not saying we don't know why the Cardinals take the risk. I'm saying is that even in April, even at the end of May, at the end of June, a week ago, taking the risk of this is what we can do in this run of the playoffs was not the smart risk. It was this was them being too risk adverse, and that's been the problem over the last decade. And I think this is one of the most abject examples. And then you connect that to maybe ego is too strong of a word, but the stubbornness of the Fedde situation and Mo needing to close the loop on this final move, one of the final moves of his career. You combine those two things together, and you have now mistakes, in my opinion, from the ownership. If it's true that they're apparently holding back the movement of these relievers because they want to compete, you have a mistake at the GM level because of the Fedde faction, and those are the people who have to be looking in the longer arc of this season. The players and Ali Marmol, I completely understand and respect. They have to think about winning games every day, and so they're never going to think about 2026. But that's Mozeliak's and DeWitt's job, and in my opinion, they made mistakes in that duty this year in pretty easily seen ways.
I'll let you and Randy get into this more coming up in the Randy Carricker show, starting at 10 o'clock this morning. There is one other Cardinal thing I want to get into before we get out of here, but I'll let you know that STL Sports Central, all content brought to you by DraftKings, and nothing beats relaxing on a hot summer day and watching baseball. And the simplest way to get in on the action is to download the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Crazy simple. You just pick more or less on the stats for two or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes. And Pick 6 is available right here in Missouri, so don't miss out on the fun. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their deposit of $5 if you use code STL Sports. That's promo code STL Sports. That's $25 in bonus picks with the first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Just one more thing I want to get into, one more ridiculous thing I want to say, and I want to kind of throw out there into the universe. Last night during the game, they showed highlights from Memphis. JJ Weatherholt hit a baseball that, I mean, it looked like one of the home runs that Eric Fedde gives up. It went so far. And with that, now has 2 home runs in his week, or I guess, 6 games that he's played in Memphis so far. He's hitting .360 in Memphis in his short time there. During the game last night, they were also talking about Mason Wynn, knee issues that he's having, the soreness. He had the injection. It's not helping to the point that they want it to help.
No.
I'm just if JJ Weatherholt continues to hit at this pace in Memphis,
I can't be on another one of these clips, Joe.
If JJ Weatherholt continues to hit at this pace in Memphis, at what point does it become a realistic conversation that he needs to be called up to the Cardinals in 2025?
Oh, okay. I thought you were taking this the other way.
What?
I thought you were gonna. I literally legitimately thought this was going to be like an hour and a half from now, just right on Twitter. Should the Cardinals trade Mason Wynn to open a spot for JJ Weatherholt?
No.
I thought we were one step away from this, Joe. You had me terrified. Yes, they should call up JJ Weatherholt. Give him a chance. If he's raking like that, let's see him hit. Why not? Maybe there'd be the argument against it is you're rushing the development at that point. You're risking him potentially developing some bad habits because he's not settling in working on things at AAA. He's just kind of got a hot bat before they dial in on his book and things like that. But at the same time, if one of the reasons you don't want to trade the relievers is you want to get people to keep running the turnstiles, then one of the ways to get people to do that is to come watch JJ Weatherholt. So, and that would line up with a pretty good idea to get some people to watch some baseball.
We were talking before the show about the possibility of trading Arenado. The only way you could talk me into that is if Weatherholt's the one that gets called up to play third.
Okay,
that's the only way you could talk me in right now to bringing up JJ Weatherholt.
Steve,
to trading Nolan Arenado. I'm sorry.
Steve Wright says not this year. He's a front runner for Rookie of the Year. You got to get that extra pick. I just don't know if that should be prioritized in that way.
I mean, they did it with Mason Wynn his rookie year. They called him up at a certain point, to limit the
I'd love to see
qualifications for it. I'm fine if that's what they wait for. I just think he was drafted to be this near major league ready guy. You're seeing guys around him in the draft being called up.
It's crazy how much the draft is getting called up right now.
He's hitting the heck out of the ball he crushed it at Double-A. He's gone there, and it doesn't look like anything at Triple-A is slowing him down.
He's also seeing the ball crazy too. He's had multiple 3-walk games as well. So he's drawing walks as well. He's doing everything you want to see. He's been playing second base though, right?
They haven't listed. Memphis has him listed as a shortstop. I have not dug in deep enough to his.
Yeah, but they said they were going to play him at second base. I guess my question is like, are you comfortable with him? You comfortable with him playing third base as well? Like
sure,
shortstop, second base, and third base all in the last 3 months at 3 different levels.
By 48 walks, 45 strikeouts. So
hello,
he's the for everybody that thinks Lars Nootbaar is just this great guy that sees the ball so well. No, JJ Weatherholt's the one that's walking more than he's striking out. Not your boy Lars.
One of them has to face like Clayton Kershaw every once in a while. Just saying. One of them facing major league pitching. Come on now, let's give Lars a little bit of credit here.
I'm just saying it's
guy like set a Cardinals record for leadoff walks to open a season, and we're coming after his ability to see the ball all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, you got to walk a lot if you're going to hit 220
again. Here I am. Like cut it again. Joe Roderick hates Lars Nootbaar, and I'm on the screen at the same time. Unbelievable.
I mean, you just find another team that loves Lars as much as the Cardinals love Lars, and see what kind of package you can get back for him at the trade deadline.
Justin Hitchens, Church is the best outfielder in Memphis. It's the truth. I have no idea what to do with the whole Church thing. I don't know how to react to a 25-year-old who's hitting 400 points higher at AAA than he was hitting at AA last year. 600 OPS last year, AA, 1,000 OPS at AAA this year. Going from age 23 to 24, age 24 to 25. I just feel like we've seen this before and we know how this goes. Does he have a red soul patch?
It's just the revolving outfield that we've seen out of the Cardinals. All right, hey, we got to get going. I've given you a lot to work with now.
Yeah, thanks.
For the rest of the day. So enjoy that. I'll be back post game around 5:00 or so with Brendan Schaefer. So we'll talk it all out after the Cardinals hopefully win the series over the Rockies before heading back to St. Louis for a long homestand here against the Padres and the Marlins. He's Matt Rocchio. I'm Joe Roderick. The Randy Carricker Show coming up in about 15, 20 minutes from now. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the STL Sports Central YouTube page to get those alerts anytime we go live. And that includes any Card Central instant reaction when the Cardinals make a move, whether it is maybe releasing, DFAing, calling up, or over the next week, assume trading some players. We will be going live almost instantly with that to get your reactions and give ours as well. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you get those notifications. This has been Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar. All of our content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.